Hi, welcome to you in this video. In this video, I will teach you what are promises, how to use them, and why to use them. So, let's start. Before starting, make sure if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe and press the like button. Let's start. Okay. Let's take a real world example. For example, you tell your friend to do some task. Your friend promises to do that task in some amount of time, and whether he or she not fulfilled your promise, that means they rejected your promise, they not fulfilled your promise. And whether they are done that task in that time or in that conditions, then it means they fulfilled their promise. So this example is also quite what we will going to do. Okay, I just created the promises.js file and integrate this JS file with the index.html as you see here. Okay, now to start with promises, let's initialize our variable. I name it promises to clean room. Okay, you can name it anything, but it should be make sense. Okay, now a new promise. What we've done up till now is initialize a new variable and tell the JavaScript that we want a new promise. Then new is the JavaScript keyword, and after that after space we type promise. Promise is also a JavaScript keyword, and it uses to initialize a new promise. Now we have to call it. It is the built-in JavaScript function. We have to call it. Now what we have to do is to pass a function. If you know what are the arrow functions, or you can say the factor functions, you can use them here. And if you don't know about that, you can use the normal, or you can say it ordinary functions. In this example, I will use the normal functions as I type function. Okay, I pass this call function into this promise function, right? I call this promise function and pass a callback function as an argument to this function. Now, what we will receive in this callback function as a parameter will be a resolve, and the second thing will be reject. Resolve or reject. When we will call this promise function, then we passes the callback function here, and this callback function receives two arguments. The first one will resolve, and second one is reject. Okay, when our promise will be fulfilled, we have to call this resolve, and when our promise is not fulfilled, we have to call the reject. Resolve and reject is basically functions which the promise function we give to this callback function, right? Okay, now again any variable status. I'm doing this just to show you how to use them, but there are a lot of logics according to the project. Now I tap confirm. Okay, how you cleaned your room. I just simply ask this question, but if you don't know what this confirm keyword do in the JavaScript, it basically shows a pop-up with this message. You can pass any message as you want. Okay, but it should be declarative and descriptive. Okay, have you cleaned your room? I just simply ask it. If the user clicks the OK button, then the true will save in this status variable. If the user presses the cancel button, then the false will save to the status. Let's check it out. So log status. Okay. Now yeah, this is HTML file. open the console by pressing the F12, and if you press the OK, as I said, true. Reload again, press cancel, here false. Now, by the way, this is not part of the promise, but I'll show you just to do the just to do the next one. Okay, now let's move forward. But if the status is equal to true, then okay, what is happening here? If the status will be true, then this if block is will work, and if it's not true, I mean if the status is will be false, then this else block will work. Okay, first of all, let's fill this block. If the status is equal to true, then what will happen? It means the promise is fulfilled. We have to call this resolve function, and if the promise is not resolved, we have to type reject and call the reject function. Okay, now if you want to pass some object or array or any string as a message or any number, we can pass into this resolve and also in the reject function. It depends on us that we have to pass or not. It's all according to our requirements in the professional world, but it's learning. It's not important to pass anything, but if you want to learn something, to do some practice, then you can pass anything to it. Okay, pass good, and here passed. Very bad because promise is not fulfilled. To clean the room. Okay, now what will happen if the promise is resolved? This resolve function will call, which comes from here, and this good message will pass. Where it will pass, I'll show you in a couple of minutes. And whenever the status will false, mean the cleaning the room or promise is not fulfilled, so this reject function will run and it passes the message, or you can see it array to somewhere. Okay, now we have to type promise to clean room dot and dot catch. As you see it, dot then dot catch. Whenever our promise will be resolved, I mean it will fulfill, then this dot then will work. And if it's not fulfilled, I mean it will not fulfill and the promise is rejected, I mean it's not fulfilled, then this catch will run. So you have to pass a callback function in this then and this catch. Whenever our promise will fulfill, then this then function will call with this callback function. You can pass a factor function if you know about them, and if you don't know about them, you don't have to worry about it. You can use the ordinary function. Again, you have to pass some function here. Okay. Now, whenever this that then method will call, it receives some data. If you pass the data here from here. If you don't process the data from here, you don't have to type data or anything else. It is just the parameter name. If you pass something like number and string or something like that, you can access the data through all this here. A string and array. You can access them when they are resolved by using this technique. Okay, let's move to the page example. Good. Okay, now here is the message. Every developer must know what will resolve pass to the stand block. Okay, simply console the message when their promise is resolved, and this message will pass to this then function. And when this catch function will call. Whenever a promise is not fulfilled, then this dot in case function will call, and it calls this callback function, and this function will receive error. It always receives the error whenever the patch will call. Okay, now console will log what will be the error. Okay, now what's going on in the browser? Before going to browser, let's do the try running on our mind. So simply we initialize a new variable and tell the JavaScript that we want a new promise to initialize, or we want a new promise, and after we pass a callback function which receives the resolve and reject, and after that we initialize the variable and put the confirm value whether it's true or false in the status. Simply we ask the question to the user in the browser, and we do some conditioning using the if and else. If the status is true, then do some work. If the status will false, then do some work. What will the work? The status is true, then resolve the promise. You can pass the any string, number, message, and age and everything that you want as a schedule. And if the promise is not fulfilled, according to the response the user gives, if the promise is not fulfilled, then pass the message if you want. If you don't want to pass a message, then it's your choice, right? It's your choice. Let's get back. Okay. Now, after that, you have to type the variable name. Whenever the promise function will call, it returns something, returns some functions and etc. data that we don't want to know to this variable. And after that, we have to import .then and .catch to know that whether the promise is resolved or not. And whenever the promise is resolved, this .end function will run, and it will run this callback function, and this callback function will receive the message from here whenever the promise is resolved and console it. And if the promise is not resolved, it simply prints this very bad message in the developer console. So let's try it in browser. Simply reload. Have you cleaned your room? Yeah, of course. Good. It says me good. If I again reload, I said no, it means cancel. It says very bad. Okay, this is the very basic promise. This very basic thing. Now let's move forward and do some advancements in this. Okay, before going to advance, you know how to use the promises, but you don't know why to use them. Okay. Okay, why to use promises? You can use the promise to do some network calls. To pass some data on the cloud, from the cloud, or some API and etc. If you do the network call and etc., it depends according to your project requirements. If you want to do the network call, you can use the promises. And second thing is, if you want to do some synchronous work, then you can use the promises. And there are also a lot of cases that you can use promises. It all depends on your requirements. If you know what are the other uses of promises, then simply Google it. Okay, now let's move to some advanced way of using the promises. Okay, advanced practice. Okay, now command this code because now we don't want to run it. Now simply initialize the new promise. Okay. Keep patience. I will tell you what is going. Function resolve reject. Now the then and data dot catch function error, console the lag error, and console the log data. Okay, resolve, close, name, first one, and first two. Okay. 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 Now, what is going is we initialize the new promise and passes the callback function. We simply does JavaScript that we want a new promise, and we call this promise keyword, and we pass a callback function to this promise function. We pass the callback function, and after that we calls the resolve function, and in this resolve function we pass the object. We pass the object. As I said, you can pass anything: numbers, string, arrays, objects, etc., etc. You can pass anything that you want. In this practice, I just resolved this promise to show you how the things work. Okay, now whenever the promises will resolve, then this dot the end function will call and it receives the data. And if this promise will not fulfill, then this catch block will work. This catch function will work, and the error appears on a developer console. So, in a scenario, in a case, the resolve will call and a promise will fulfill. Now let's check it in browser. Again, reload. As you see, the same file happens, and data appears here. Okay, this is the basic data. I just created in front of you to tell you how things work. And now, whenever this reject, then you can as you see, I reject the promise, so this catch will work. If you want to know, you type catch, reload, catch. If I resolve, reload, no catch. It means that then function will call whenever a promise will resolve. I do this just to make your mind clear about it. Now, the second thing is we can type as many then as we want, right? Push and function console lag push. Okay. Return data dot push. Okay. Whenever promise will resolve, then it's dot the function will call, and simply when it calls, it returns some data. Data is data.post. Post is the array, as you see here. We pass in the resolve function. It receives the data and returns the data.post, and when this dot the end function will return some data, then it comes to this again dot the function, and in this callback function, this data what is written in the previous dot the end function, it comes here. We can simply console into our developer console through it. But if you want to do another dot then, you can do it. Suppose you want to do some work after the new promise, after a promise will resolve, you have to do some work. After data will come and this work is done, you have to do some work. Then you can do it. Do some work. Okay, now let's check it out in their console. Okay, return. Okay, post. The first dot the end function will run and return the data to post to this then block, and after that it receives the post which comes from here, and it simply logs into our developer console log, and after that we put the another dot the end function to do some extra work if you want to do. I simply log this because we are not developing a partial project here, but I'm doing this just to let you know that how things work. You can simply log this here, but the concept is, suppose you want to do something after the promise will resolve and this dot the end function will done, and this dot the end function will done, and after you have to have to done something, then you can do this by this way, and you can initialize as many then as you want, right? It all depends on your requirement and all your way to work. Okay, and whenever the error appears, it comes simply to the catch. So I hope you learned something. I hope you learn. Thanks for your time. So for now, bye.